It's a well-known fact that the media is everywhere these days. It's an inescapable truth in our everyday lives, and so are the consequences that come with it. We all hear about how phones negatively affect young children, and we've all heard the debate on whether or not video games are really turning people to violence. While these are no doubt important, there's another narrative that doesn't seem to get as much attention. How does the constant barrage of media affect us mentally? After doing some research, it turns out media has a negative effect on a wide range of groups, but our research focuses on young women, specifically preteens to college-age adults. The negative effects observed in our research has to do with the body image and eating disorders. We also wanted to figure out if being media literate helps lessen the negative effects of media. With that being said, we will be discussing eating disorders. If this is something you know will affect you mentally, please feel free to step away, no judgment, I promise.
To understand the severity of eating disorders, we must first understand what classifies as an eating disorder and how much of the population it affects. One of the most well-known and common eating disorders is anorexia nervosa, an eating disorder characterized by excessive weight loss and extreme thinness caused by self-starvation, according to Susan McQuillan. Another common eating disorder is bulimia, characterized by Katie Hurley as recurrent episodes of binge eating and compensatory behaviors, often referred to as purging. According to a 2006 study by Rebecca Watson and Lisa Vaughn, it is estimated that 19 to 30% of college females can be diagnosed with an eating disorder, and between 1% and 5% of adolescent females meet the criteria for the diagnosis of an eating disorder. And out of the general population, anorexia appears in 0.5% of female population. Bulimia appears in 1 to 3%, and eating disorder not otherwise specified appears in 4 to 6%. All of these eating disorders can be caused by a negative self-image, but why does media affect people in this way? The answer comes from media internalization. A study done by Tracy Wade and their colleagues described media internalization as a strong investment in and endorsement of societal ideals of body size and appearance to the point that they become rigid, guiding principles. According to the same group of researchers, female societal ideals are related to thinness and being white, young, tall, and having flawless skin with an emphasis on a lack of body fat. It was also found in a 2003 meta-analysis conducted by Ann Morris and Deborah K. Katzman that, in 25 different studies with female subjects, the participants felt significantly more negative after viewing thin media images than after viewing images of either average-size models or plus-size models or inanimate objects.
With all of that in mind, the question persists. Does being media literate help treat or prevent body image issues? There are several studies that we have found that helped us draw a positive conclusion to the question at hand. One of the first studies we delved into was one done by Rebecca Watson and Lisa M. Vaughn, who we have also mentioned previously. In their research, they found that a majority of studies have suggested that exposure to media depicting socio-cultural ideals of attractiveness do indeed lead to body dissatisfaction, and its effect is more potent for females. They also state in several studies they have read, media literacy courses seemed ineffective, though they suggest that this is not the content of the courses that makes this so, but rather the length. In the studies that found media literacy courses ineffective, the studies themselves were not conducted over a substantial period of time. In Watson and Vaughn's meta-analysis of eating disorder prevention programs, they found that multiple sessions and longer-term interventions were much more effective. They state that a longer intervention gives participants a chance to absorb its message, may be more likely to have an effect on body image variables. Another study done, one in India as opposed to America, staged a body image-based media literacy intervention with 49 female participants aged 12 to 14 years of age. Megha Dhillon and Siksha Deepak established two groups of participants, an experimental group and a control group. The experimental group received a 4-component module on media literacy and body image, while the control group engaged in a discussion on a neutral topic. In their assessment of body satisfaction before the study, both groups did not differ greatly from one another. However, there was a large difference between the two after the intervention, with the experimental group reporting higher levels of body satisfaction. Finally, a third study that we looked at was one that took place in Melbourne, Australia. Their method had the participants take part in 50-minute sessions. The goal of these was to reflect specific challenges posed by social media, and the lessons themselves were meant to increase media literacy relating to advertising on social media, critique digitally manipulated images, develop resilience toward upward comparisons on social media, and reduce frequency of peer appearance-related commenting on social media. While only a pilot study, the results showed improvements with body esteem in the intervention group. According to McLean and their colleagues, the small to medium-sized effects they noticed were congruous with other school-based media literacy intervention. They also state, our findings indicate that the combined media literacy peer influence approach can help address appearance pressures for young people.
To put all of this simply, media literacy courses can and do seem to help prevent body image issues, though the most effective interventions are the ones that take place over long periods of time. With how much media we consume on a daily basis, especially in younger individuals, media literacy courses should probably start at an elementary school age in order to be most effective. To wrap things up completely, here's a clip from a TED Talk. Everybody loves TED Talks.
Bye!